Okay, I am attempting now to do my first video tutorial, actually first tutorial ever. I started coloring, painting, whatever you want to call it, some scales and posting them, and I've gotten a lot of comments on how it's done. It is the alcohol inks. I'm using the Ranger product ones that you can get at any craft store. You can also make your own, and it's just simply using some alcohol. I'll post the instructions that a friend gave me, but it's basically cutting apart Sharpies, letting them soak for a couple hours, and I want to say maybe an ounce or so of alcohol, maybe it's 2 ounces, and then you're ready to start using them, and you can mix and blend colors until your heart is content. Tried this earlier, had to do a few takes. So here are some already colored scales that you can kind of see sitting here. I do use a plexi piece that I got at Tap Plastics because it's easy to clean with alcohol when you're done, and I don't have to worry about, staining any other work surfaces. And if there's wind in the background, I apologize, but it's close to 100 degrees here today, and I don't have air conditioner, so I'm out in the shade and the breeze to stay a little cooler. So, brushed aluminum on the scales. Yeah, I did try a couple on shiny scales, and the color didn't seem to take as well. So, that's just what I found. I've been doing this for a day and a half now, so I'm not necessarily an expert, but that's just what I found. For these, the colors that I'm using are, I'm going to use some red, some orange, and turquoise here. What you'll want is they use a felt pad, and you don't have to buy the craft store stuff. You can just buy regular white felt, I'm presuming, and in some way, shape, or form attach it to something that you can hold on to stamp. This is a block that has Velcro stapled into it. Once you attach the pad, just a couple, few drops of the colors, whatever combination you want. Just kind of all over. I would imagine you could also paint the scales to a certain extent, maybe drizzling color on them. I haven't tried that yet, but that is something I think I want to try. So you get your colors going, then you put a little bit of the blending solution, which I think might be straight alcohol, and you might try just using alcohol to do that. Again, a couple, 2-3 drops. And then once you've got your scales ready, just start stamping. It's up to you if you want to do both sides. I only have been doing one. And because you've got the colors kind of all over, just when you're hitting what you want to stamp, make sure you go back a few times and get different areas. You can keep stamping until you're happy with what you've got. If you don't like it, get some alcohol and clean them up and start all over. You're not limited to just the scales. You can do washers like I've got here. That's kind of how I discovered this, is I had seen something for doing the inks on washers, and I thought, hey, and after I did some washers, I'm like, why can't I do the scales? So then I tried the scales, and it just kind of went from there. And I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it. So, but here's the scales. Let's see if I can figure out how to get this nice and close and in focus, or not. Apologize for that. I'll see if I can move stuff around here in just a minute. And if you get it on your hands, you can wear gloves while you're doing this, or just use rubbing alcohol to get it off. But it's pretty straightforward. So these are the colored inks washer. I did some glass cabochons earlier. that I'm going to probably put into some conjure pendants. And let's see if I can get this close enough to give you a better idea of the colors. I'm kind of doing this backwards, so I'm not sure how great the focus is. Or not. Kind of hard to see here. But that's it. If you're using the washers, the scales, whatever you're doing for jewelry versus just decoration, you'll want to seal it. I'm using, right now I'm trying out a Krylon Fusion clear coat. It says it works with metal. It's not what I found when I did a Google search, but that particular product I haven't found local to me yet, and I was impatient and wanted to get started. So I would presume you can pretty much use any type of sealer that will work with metals. So hopefully this has helped, and you can go out and start painting and coloring your own scales. Have fun.